And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce this afternoon's commencement speaker. A nationally recognized health leader, Dr. LaMar Hasbrouck has been on the front line of disease outbreaks for a quarter century. He spent 12 years as senior medical officer at the Centers for Disease Control and also had a role of the CDC's country director and chief of party in Guyana, South America. Dr. Hasbrouck was actively engaged in two of the largest global health initiatives in history, the World Health Organization's polio eradication program and the US President's emergency plan for AIDS relief. As a former director of the Illinois Department of Public Health, responsible for protecting the health and improving the lives of 13 million residents. He's also the only county official in New York State to simultaneously lead the health and mental health departments. A national voice during COVID-19, Dr. Hasbrouck serves as a contributor, columnist, and expert for a range of national media outlets, helping to dispel myths around disease and keep the public informed. Please join me in welcoming to the stage a Dean Scholar who graduated from the Drew UCLA Medical Education Program in 1994, Dr. LaMar Hasbrouck. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, President Carlisle. Thank you to the Charles Drew University and the Commencement Committee. Jackie Brown is somewhere around here. But I was working in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they found me and asked me, would you like to speak at commencement? That was a no-brainer. They, in fact, invited me to come home. And so to the family, I want to say thank you, and it's good to be home. To the class of 2020, 2021, and most immediately the class of 2022, how you feeling? I mean, you're almost there, so I'm gonna ask you again, how you feeling? Amazing, that's good stuff. So before I start my message for you, specifically the graduates, I want to just take a beat here, and I want to do like so many other speakers have done. I want to make sure that we acknowledge the enablers of this day, the enablers, because it's kind of a secret covenant that you get into when you start medical school and you say, I'm going to come here and devote myself to learn, and these faculty here and folks on the platform say, I'm going to commit myself to teach you. So it's a sacred covenant, and we can't let this time go past without recognizing the enablers. That's everyone on this distinguished platform. That's all the devoted faculty and staff that just poured into you for years. That's your family out here, your supporters, your loved ones. That's the extended Charles Drew University family, because no one walks across this stage alone. No one. And so please join me in saluting the enablers. So I'm going to repeat the theme for today's commencement, which was captured by the eloquence of Brother Cornel West. You can't lead the people if you don't love the people, and you can't save the people if you don't serve the people. But I'm going to add something to that, and I don't think Dr. West would mind. I'm going to add on to that the words of another prolific poet and lyricist, the beloved Mr. Stevie Wonder, who said, love's in need of love today. In his brilliant collection of songs in the key of life, released in 1976, Stevie's proclamation is more relevant today than ever. So I want to begin my remarks here with love, right here, right today. And I'll start with a confession of sorts. Graduates, I don't know you, but I love you. And I love you because of how wonderfully diverse you are. Your ethnic diversity, your racial diversity, your cultural diversity, your linguistic preferences, your lived experiences, and your life stories. I love you for your willingness to serve, your commitment to lifelong learning and professional growth in the service of our community and beyond. I love you because of the road you traveled to get here. Sometimes it was smooth, but too often you had to navigate the roads with potholes and speed bumps and unplanned detours. I love you because of your courage and your dogged perseverance. Sometimes in the face of setbacks, family crisis, financial crisis, academic challenges, anybody? Surviving naysayers, haters, and sometimes even self-doubt. But most of all, graduates, most of all, I love you because of what you represent. See, in just a few minutes, you will rise from your commencement seat, that same seat that I sat in 28 years ago, and you will walk across this stage. And when you rise, extending to your tallest height with your shoulders back and your head held high, I want you to know that you're going to do something that perhaps you may have never anticipated doing. Each of you will take each of us across this stage with you. Your individual and collective power and potential will reverberate throughout everyone in this shared space. Because despite the cynicism of our nation, the disruption of the pandemic, the heartbreak of the mass shootings, the polarization between people who think differently, you remind us that we have 300 reasons to be hopeful. There can be no doubt, graduates, you are among America's best and brightest. And because of the rigorous preparation here at Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science, today's commencement signals to a beleaguered, a fatigued healthcare workforce that help is on the way. Now, the critical question becomes one of momentum, and that is to say, how do you ensure your continued success in your professional journey beyond today and on into your career? I wish I had a life hack for you, but I'm going to tell you this. The sobering truth is that there are no guarantees. There will be good days and bad ones. There'll be ups and downs, highs and lows, wins and losses. There will be setbacks, setups, and breakthroughs. It's a little something we like to call life. But if in the 28 years since I sat in your seat, I've discovered some basic principles that correlate very strongly with success, something that I call the 4 B's. And I'd like to share those with you. Number 1, be you. There is excellence in diversity of ideas, life stories, lived experience. Bring all that you are, all of your style, all of your swagger, all of your aesthetic into the profession. We need that. Remember that your worst you is far better than your best imitation of someone else. So be your authentic self. Be you. Number 2, be audacious. Never limit yourself to things that are easily obtainable. People will underestimate your power and your potential, but you should never be one of those people. Sure, you'll be doubted, you'll be criticized, but trailblazers are always doubted and criticized. Our life expectancy has increased by 30 years over the last century precisely because of audacious thinking that led to advances in health science and medicine like Dr. Charles R. Drew. So be audacious. Number 3, be passionate. Anything worth pursuing is worth pursuing with boundless enthusiasm. Passion is the engine that will drive you towards your goals when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling exhausted, when you're feeling unappreciated. And believe me, there'll be many times where you're feeling unappreciated. So remember, keep your passion. And number 4, and perhaps the most important one, be humble. See, if we're not careful, success can lead to a false sense of superiority and a distasteful pomposity. Too often we achieve something and we're tempted to say, "Look at me," when we should say, "Look at God." I've come to know that professional and personal achievements result, yes, in part from planning, preparation, hard work, and tenacity, for sure, but also because of things beyond your control. Things like timing, serendipity, sponsorship, even divine favor. We celebrate you today, but today is not only about you. Today is also about something outside of you. It's about all the people who might benefit from your competent and compassionate care. Those who will depend on you to survive so that they might realize their human potential. In the end, graduates, your success will not be measured by the degrees you earn, the salary you make, the title you have. The full measure of your legacy will be the number of lives that you've helped to improve during your tenure in the profession. So be humble. If I have been fruitful in my career and successful as a person, it's only because I've tried to follow these 4 principles, the 4 B's. And as you continue to grow as a professional, ignited by your passion and guided by your purpose, I want to encourage you to reflect on those 4 principles as you chart your path forward. Don't aspire to be like me or your mentor or your hero. Instead, strive to be yourself. Strive to be audacious in your thinking about your career. Strive to be passionate and humble. And if you do that, you will be just fine. I want to thank you for choosing a vocation of service, for persevering, for your positive impact on the lives of the most vulnerable, for your future contributions, large and small. Love's in need of love today and every day. And if you want to lead the people, you must love the people. And if you want to save the people, you must serve the people. You, fortunately, have volunteered for a most splendid profession, and one that has equipped you to love through service and serve with unabashed love. A profession that empowers you to heal this cynical world one patient at a time, one kind gesture at a time. In closing, let me say again that we are about to witness a procession of hope. We revel in it with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, with every teacher, coach, guide, mentor, anyone and everyone has had a hand on your journey to this place. Wherever you go from here, whatever you decide to make of your talents and your opportunities, remember, you will always be a part of the Charles R. Drew University family. You will continue to make us proud. You will continue to be a blessing. And for these reasons, we are eager to unleash the good in you on the world. And I feel greatly confident in speaking on behalf of the Board of Trustees, President Carlisle, and everyone on this platform when I say, we've got nothing but love for you. Congratulations. God bless.